Welcome back to Besties of Birmingham, and I am so excited. I am your host, Latanya Seals,
And I'm your co-host, Cicely Hope.
and we excited about today. We have an amazing topic and an amazing guest.
Yes.
So if you guys have not saw, check out our shirts. It says that this mom wears her heart on her sleeve. This mom wears her heart on her sleeve. So let's get into it. Who name do you have on your sleeve?
So on my sleeve, I have my grandbaby's name. So my grandmother's name is Yaya. So Yaya wears her hearts on her sleeve, and I have Harper, and I have CJ.
Okay. So your heart that you wear on your sleeve is your grandbaby.
Yes.
And we have always been different like that.
Absolutely.
You have always been the overtop grandmama. You that's just you. That's not me. And so I did not put my grandbabies. I said babies. I have two grandbabies.
Yes.
I did not put Trayden and Tristan name on my sleeve. I put my children name, which is not Kira, Tiara, and Nakia Jr. I have always been the mother that's like, I'm gonna make sure my children straight. Y'all need to make sure y'all kids straight. I'm not paying no daycare. You need to pay your own daycare. Now I help my children, but I need my children to help their children. But that's not you.
Yeah.
That's not
Definitely
you.
not me.
You definitely over the top.
Yeah.
You the kind of grandmama that's gonna buy Yaya, Hopper, all these handbags and take her on the trip, and she has a room in your house. And see, that's not me.
Yeah.
You don't get no room in my house. Ain't no grandchild getting no room in my house. You need a room in your parents' house. But that's you.
Yeah. My grandbaby has a room in my house, but from what I'm hearing and what I'm seeing, your children have a room in your house.
Yes,
because
they do.
Nakira and her husband and their two children have now moved in.
Let's
they've
clarity.
been there since October. They moved in. Wait a minute.
Let's bring some clarity. My kids have just bought a house in the Trustville
Oh
area.
yeah, absolutely, yeah.
And they, my daughter got sick, and she actually had been put on bed rest. So she moved in October. I told her husband, the only way I can help them if they come and stay with me. So her husband, and at that time, they're 5-year-old. They came and stayed with us in October. Well, now it's March. They have had the baby. They still walking around, drinking the ginger ales, drinking this stuff. And my husband said, and then her husband said this. One Saturday, he got up and he said, I'll be back. I'm going to blow the leaves off at my house. And I started to say, boy, you need to be blowing the leaves off here.
I know that's right.
But I am grateful. So you're absolutely right. My children have started taking over in our house. But when they leave, they children must leave with them. The children must depart. Baby and all. I see you later.
I get it. Yeah.
But I'm excited. I'm excited about our topic. And we got my friend who we have been friends for, I know, at least 20 years.
20 years.
22 years.
You keep up with it. That is beautiful.
2004.
Wow.
22 years, my friend. And you just don't talk the talk. I can watch you walk the walk. And it aligns with our conversation topic today. We're talking about grandmama not. We're talking about the difference. How some grandmothers are with their daughter children versus their son children. And whether people believe it or not, it's a difference.
Absolutely.
It's a difference, and it's a notable difference.
Yeah.
And the children feel the effect on how grandmama treats the daughter children versus how grandmama treats, embrace, love, and gives her son children.
Absolutely.
So I got the pleasure of talking to two grandmothers that are grandmothers from your sons.
Yes.
So you actually have a son and a daughter, but you only have Jakim, which is your son. And so let's talk a little bit about that, because I think for real, people don't talk enough about it. And I believe it's possible that people don't even recognize they do it. They don't. Let's be honest and think about our grandmothers. Because at some point, everybody got a grandma, right? And can you say this is a new spirit, or could you say this is an old spirit? Like for an example, my mother was married. You guys know my story. It's too long to go back about my father. But the truth of the matter is, my mom was married for years, and our grandparents never treated us like they treated my aunt's daughters. And it was so bad that I was literally see them out and they didn't even really recognize me.
Wow.
They didn't even recognize me. And you know, and I'm not trying to cause any problems. You got to say that on the podcast because they be on send this to your family. But my sister recently ministered. I don't know if she did the eulogy or she did the Old and New Testament at his funeral. And she said I had the privilege and the distinct honor to do something at my grandfather. And to me, I was like, they didn't even acknowledge us. You know what I'm saying? When you was at, like, you talking about the privilege, you know what I'm saying? These jokers didn't even act like we, and I don't know if that's the way they was taught, but in reality, he didn't even know our name.
Oh, wow.
He never bought us Christmas gifts. He never bought us anything. And so when he passed and everybody was making it a huge deal, I hate to say this, and I don't even know if this is right, but I didn't counsel. I had a ministry assignment in Mobile, Alabama. I didn't modify my schedule because my thing was, you never modify yours.
Yeah.
I give sympathy. And oh, God, this is good, I guess. I even sent them a card. My auntie, let me send you a card. Your daddy died. You know what I'm saying? Like, let me minister to you like I would minister to a church member or a partner or a friend. But I'm going to send you a card with a seed in it for your father because I don't see it as a seed for me. Because of the statement that he had made. I do believe it's possible for grandparents to show differences between grandkids.
Oh, yeah. And you said, is it a old spirit? As you said that, I want to say it's more of a familiar spirit.
Okay.
Because it's very rare that you find the son's mother being fair and treating the son children the same as the daughter children. It's familiar. And I think it just runs. And a lot of times, I believe, you know the old saying they said, you know if it's a girl, you know that's your grandbaby because that girl came out of you. But that boy came out of the woman, and you don't know for sure if that grandbaby is yours or not. You understand what I'm saying? Like, people think like that. Like, you have grandchildren by your daughter.
Absolutely.
You know Nakira is yours. She came out of you. So you know them two babies that came out of her, that's a given. Them, you know them your grandkids. But sometimes when it comes from a boy, like my situation and Marie's situation, my son had this baby. And who's to say if it's his or not? Because it didn't come out of him. It came out of the girl. So I think it's a familiar spirit that has been planted a long time ago, and it just runs rapid. It's a given. And you know, even regarding me, I remember when thoughts came up about my grandbaby, and I was coming out of my subdivision, and I'm like, and God said, you could test if you want to. At the end of the day, that one yours. And I never had to get a test. I never thought about it again because, for one, I know the voice of God. And number two, God was letting me know you're going to waste your time and your money because that's yours. But I got to be honest. It's something in me, Tanya and Marie, to just be fair anyway. I think it has nothing to do with regarding me. Now, I don't know Marie thing. I have adopted kids, and I treat my adoptive kids just like my regular kids. So it's something in me to be fair anyway. You know what I'm saying? So, but absolutely. I mean, my mother's mother, she was mean to everybody.
Your grandmama?
My mama
was mean to everybody.
My maternal grandmother, she was mean to everybody. She didn't, no. She was mean to all of us. to the boy children, and she probably treated the boy children a little bit better because they were from out of town. So when they would come in town, she cut on the air. But when we were there in the hot, we burned up. You know what I'm saying? My maternal grandmother, she treated everybody the same. She was a mean woman, you know, and that's what I thought, you know, until I got older. But my father's mother, in that family, I definitely saw the difference between the girls' children and the boys' children. You know what I'm saying? But to me, I experienced it in my life, definitely, that the fraternal grandmother definitely treated us different than she treated her daughter's children.
So I have to ask,
and that's my opinion.
Before we get to our guests, when you say your father's side, you saw the difference.
Oh,
you don't have to go.
Absolutely.
What do you mean? Like, what do you mean when you say you literally saw the difference between the daughter children and the your father's children?
And it was more of from the grandchildren, because we were young, so they didn't know a lot of the stuff that they would say, and they would say stuff like, we told, they asked us what we wanted for Christmas, and we told them we wanted this. And it was my middle sister, because my baby sister came right before my mom and dad divorced. So, but it was me and my sister Angela, and we remember this stuff. Like, we would look at each other and be like, they asked y'all what y'all wanted. We didn't get that opportunity. Wow. You know what I'm saying? Okay. And so it were things like that, that our cousins would say. It was certain things that they would say when we would come around, you know, or whatever. And my dad had children outside of me and my two sisters. So
your dad sound like a Rolling Stone.
Yeah, he was. He kind of, I ain't gonna say that, but yeah, we're on the podcast. But at the end of the day, like I remember I had my stepbrother, and I remember him having conversations with him, and it was some things that he shared, the way that he was done, and I know it to be true because I was in the room when some things were said. But it was never that when it came down to the girls' children.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So
it is true. I guess we got some facts. So tell me a little bit about your history, your grandmother. Do what you remember before we talk about your grandkids. Because I believe a lot of people, they demonstrate the love that they have received.
Absolutely.
So I'm just trying to figure this thing out. So I believe this is a generational curse. Your mama wasn't right with your brother children. Your mama treated your children better. Now that your son is having children, you treating your daughter children better. Nobody is breaking this. Nobody is saying, mama, that's not right. Nobody is saying, mama, you mentally abusing those children, because at the end of the day, they children and they looking at what you doing. So tell me a little bit about your background with this.
Well, I did not grow up in a normal family, so we didn't have grandparents that we had a relationship with. No, my mother was on her own at the age of 15. Her mother died at the age of 12, and then my mother went to live with an aunt who we thought was our grandmother, and we later found out she was just an aunt. And then my mother moved to Birmingham, so we never had the privilege of grandparents.
Okay, gotcha.
So that's not the reason why you operate the way you do, because you are a fantastic grandmama, and that's why you're here today.
Yeah. Well, I operate the way I operate because of empathy. I operate the way I operate because, so my view is I want to give to them what we did not receive. You see. So we didn't have anybody to show up for us, not from a blood standpoint. You understand? God put people in our lives. Like when we got removed out of my mother's home and I went to live in a children's home for about 4 years, right? They had house parents there who were, parental figures or whatever you wanted to call them. And so I learned how to treat people through the people that I encountered, and they wasn't blood.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow. So let me say this. Let's make sure that people understand. You only have how many children?
I have one biological son and one bonus son through marriage.
Okay, so no matter what, you just are a boy grandma. So tell me how many grandkids you have in all.
I have a total of 9. I have 8 girls and 1 boy from the ages 1 up to 13.
9. How do you minister to 9? Because I'm telling you, 2 I got is working me.
9.
I got 2. I got Traden and Tristan is 5, and Traden is a month. They are like cost effective. How do you manage 9?
Yeah. Well, I have Jayla, Valerie, Abigail, Layla, Ava Grace, Jaden Amir, Amara, Jaden, Sanaa Marie. So those are all of mine. So how I like I was on the phone with Jayla Bug yesterday. That's the one that lived with me for 6 years.
Okay.
So she's funny. So she just wanted to call and check on her grandmother. I was getting my nails done. So she likes to talk to me on FaceTime. So we're talking on FaceTime. And so, Grandma, let me see your nails. And so I'm showing her my nails. And so she had to give me her feedback on my nails. And so we just have our conversation. Well, then I call because they no longer live, none of them live locally anymore.
Okay.
So I call her father, I check in. Because I advocate for the word. Are y'all in the word? What are you learning?
Yeah.
And so Jakim, he reads the Bible to the 3 oldest girls. Well, 1, 2, 3. Well, that's a whole. That's how you. So 1, 2, and 4, they read the Bible together, and so it's only one of them I don't have a relationship with, not because I don't want to. That's because of her mother.
Okay, so you have a grandchild at the 9 that you don't have a relationship
yes.
with.
Now, occasionally she allows her Jakim to speak to her, but because of a situation that happened years ago when she was pregnant, she opted for me not to speak to the child because she didn't like the direction that I guided Jakim in.
Okay. So let me ask you this. I mean, we out here, y'all.
Yeah.
Listen, we got to talk some raw stuff.
Mm-hmm.
How are you with being okay with that, considering that they got stuff like grandparent rights?
Well, so here's the thing. This is one of the things I shared with Jakim. One of my constant prayers was this. Father God, touch the heart of, I call the mother's name out, and touch her heart where she will allow me to talk to my grandbaby. So that's my constant prayer. Even when my son came visited, this was a couple of years ago, and he was like, Mom, I'm going to call her and tell her. And I said, no, let her do it. Because that's my prayer. I don't want her to feel forced. I don't want her to feel. And then what happened was when Jakim came to town and they were on the phone, she asked about me.
Okay.
And then Jakim ended up calling her on FaceTime, and we spoke for the first time in years.
Oh, wow.
You see what I'm saying? So I'm just allowing God to do that, and I'm at peace with that. You understand? And I'm at peace with that because I know Jakim has communication with her.
Okay.
Although I would love to have communication with her, but Jakim has communication with her, and I'm just in prayer.
In so many words, it's so many kids you got on your sleeve.
Well, you know what?
ain't finna be chasing you. That's really what that sounds like without saying it.
Well, here's the thing. I will never beg a mother to let me see my grandchild.
I don't blame you.
I'm
not doing it.
You see what I'm saying? Because my prayer is that, because I feel like the child is missing out. You understand? Because you have a community that wants to see their grandchildren, want to bless their grandchildren, want to pour into their grandchildren. So my responsibility is to pray. Right? I'm not going to get stressed out. I'm not going to argue with you. I'm not going to get in the flesh.
I'm with you now, Marie.
All of that because
ain't finna do all
years
that
ago, it was a situation.
But now I don't blame you. Nobody's gonna beg nobody to see their children. Cause when I beg you to see your children, I'm begging you to spend my money on them. I'm begging you to loop my time up. But now this is where I'm at. Is that fair to the child? Because you as an adult is making these decisions that I don't have this relationship with my grandmama. So when the child comes up, all they know is grandmama was grandmama to 8. And it just don't make sense that because they got grandmama laws.
Well, here's the thing.
Grandma relationship.
I had the opportunity to speak to her, and this was about probably 5 years ago. And when I got on FaceTime, she instantly knew who I was. She said, "Hey, grandmama." Well, then her mother snatched the phone. You see what I'm saying? So I don't want to contribute to trauma in a child's life. Now, if the child grows up and she becomes a teenager, becomes adult, then I'll be able to explain that to her. You understand? Preferably it won't go that long because she's Jayla's 13, she is 11 now. Preferably, we'll be able to get a relationship before she becomes an adult. But if that's not the case, then we'll dialogue about it.
Yeah.
You understand?
So if you had a daughter,
Mhm.
do you think you would be just as? Because see, it's easy for people to say, well, she feel that way because she don't have but one child. She feel that way because she don't have but two children, and they both boys. So quite natural, she's gonna be good and she's gonna be right about all her grandchildren because she doesn't have anything to select from. But you, on the other hand, people could feel the same way about you because you only have one grandchild as of now, and you know what I'm saying. And then you just been blessed with a bonus grandchild, but it's kind of different. Like, how you gonna be when your girls have children? And I know people say, well, I'm gonna be fair, because most people that are not fair think they fair.
Absolutely.
I'm gonna say that again. Most grandmamas that's not fair, they got some justification reason to justify their actions on why they doing it, and that's most of the time what happens. They get into it with the baby mama, and it causes a short circulation with the children. That's what I have experienced.
Let me speak on that. So if I had a girl and she chose not to allow the child to be in a relationship with the other grandparent for whatever reason, I would check her on that. You understand? Because I understand that her mother and me are at two different places spiritually. You understand? And so, and let me say it like this, since we being real and raw. When everything went down, her mother, I can't say her mother told her, but her mother definitely did not give her wisdom on not to do it. When she got upset, she didn't even let Jakim know that she had the baby. Okay, she separated from Jakim, and then Jakim was going to Walmart, and that's when he saw that she wasn't pregnant anymore, and she was with her mother. You see what I'm saying? Me personally, I would not allow. I remember when Jakim was a little boy, and he used to have these long little plaits. I used to twist his hair out. But his father, he kept him one day. His father didn't get permission from us, and his father cut all his hair off and sent him back with his haircut. My mother was livid, and my mother said, you should let him see him anymore. I wouldn't let him keep. And I said to my mother, Mom, I'm not going to do that. I said, because Jakim will never grow up and say that I kept him away from his father.
Yeah.
Although I felt bad, it was in my feel. But so children don't ask to be in this world. You understand? So why should you punish the child because two adults have issues with each other? So I would never allow my son nor my daughter to intentionally keep the child away from the other party unless it would detriment, like if they're on drugs or doing something crazy. That's a whole different story. But just because somebody is upset with another person.
Well, so I think the question that she was asking, Marie, if it was your daughter who decided to keep your grandbaby from you as being the maternal grandmother, would you have the same attitude like you have?
If it was my daughter,
If you had a daughter,
Like if it was,
my daughter was keeping the grandchild away from me versus the father.
yes.
Yes.
What would you do? Would you really go down to the courts?
If my daughter kept my grandchild, see, that's a whole different ball game.
Okay, so why?
She my daughter.
Why?
I would show up at the house. I ain't got to go to no courts.
So what you gonna do? And see, that's what I wanted
That's
to
a-
get
see,
to.
yeah.
That's
See,
what I wanted to
I was
deal
talking.
with.
I thought you was talking about
Yeah.
like
Okay,
the,
but see,
the
you,
father.
Yeah.
you got to get
Yeah.
what you just said.
yeah.
Yeah.
You're saying that if your daughter got mad with you and decided to keep her baby away from you, I'm not going through no chains. I'm not going through no
No.
system. I'm gonna show up at the house.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
And I'm saying, why is that for a daughter when that is not the same?
I would do
energy?
it. I would do it for a son. I don't play, girl.
So that's what I'm trying to get to the.
Let me give you. Let me. And I'm not gonna tell you nothing. Kim would not say when Jakim and his 1, 2, 3, 4, fourth, when they broke up and they lived up in North Carolina, I called him on the phone and said, "I'm coming to get my grandbaby." And I went up there and got my grandbaby and brought her back down here.
But so what we're saying is, well, what's
this
the
getting good,
difference
y'all. This getting
with you
good.
doing
You
that
got
same thing regarding this baby?
Because that girl is not my child.
But that's your grandbaby.
That's my grandbaby, but the mother is not my child.
So I'm sorry.
Watch this. I don't have jurisdiction over the mother. You see what I'm
I
saying?
don't think you got jurisdiction over another grown
even
person.
even
You talking
even
about
your
son?
cause he's grown.
And I
So
don't
really,
think-
do you?
I don't
Yeah,
think
I do.
You do?
I do.
And see,
Yeah.
Let me tell you.
Yeah.
Let me tell you. Let me tell you.
Okay,
Let me ask you a
this is
question.
good.
Let me ask you a question. You're a pastor, right?
I am.
You're a pastor,
Uh-huh.
right? You have jurisdiction over your members, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
At church.
Yeah.
Spiritual jurisdiction.
Yeah.
You have spiritual jurisdiction, right?
Yeah.
You could cover them in prayer, right?
Yeah.
You could cover them in prayer, right?
Yeah.
If they go missing at church and you wanted to go check on them, you could pop up on them,
Yeah.
right?
Uh-huh.
You could pop up on them, right?
Yeah.
Why I can't pop up on one that I gave birth to?
So listen, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree with that. All I'm saying is we got to keep the topic. We're talking about the different energy that you have if it was your daughter versus the energy that you have with your son. And this is all I'm saying. If I knew that was my grandbaby, I'm going to bring in the fire and the thunder. If you would refuse me to see my grandbaby, and if it's my daughter and I'm going to pop up, even if I think popping up might get me in legal trouble with my son.
Is this your biological daughter or the baby mother?
Baby mom. See, this is the difference with me. I will probably fight for grandparent rights. I will probably pay the money, get me an attorney. They gonna tell you she get Christmas. They gonna tell you she get. I'm gonna take it to that level, and I think that's what happens.
Yeah, no.
Right. See, that's
Yeah.
what I got to.
Let me tell you why.
That's what I wanted to get to.
Listen,
This is real.
in life, you have to identify what your values are. One of my values is peace.
Okay.
And anything that disrupts my peace, it's just I have to evaluate it. Not saying anything is wrong with fighting to have grandparent. I didn't even know it was such thing as grandparent rights. Okay, that's first of all. Second of all, I believe in the power of prayer. So my thing is, I'm taking it to God, and I see the God wink. For her to ask to speak to me at no initiation of my own, you see what I'm saying? So either I'm going to believe God or I'm not.
But see, I love that.
Yeah.
It don't change our status. This is a point where we got to agree to disagree, and I love this podcast because what you're basically told me is, if it's my daughter, I'm gonna stand up. I'm gonna handle it. I'm gonna make you see my point. But if it's my grandson, if it's a child for my son, I'm gonna just pray and put it in God's hand. And to me, that's a little bit imbalanced.
But that's only because of jurisdiction.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing. First of all, I don't know where she live at.
Yeah, well, you ain't got
Listen,
no jurisdiction.
no, but listen to me. First of all, I don't know where she live. First of all, I don't even know the state she live in. I don't even know the city she live in.
Okay.
You understand? Second of all, if I could imagine if I knew her city and I knew her address and I popped up on her.
Yeah.
Don't know her phone number. I'm coming to see my grandbaby.
Now, see, I wouldn't do that, but I would. You see, and I agree. The power of prayer. I'm a woman of prayer.
Yeah.
But I just don't think. I think at 11 it's already went too far. This just me. Yeah. I just don't believe that I would wait that long. I believe money will open up doors she trying to close, because if it's my grandbaby, you really don't have the right to tell me I can't see Christmas, Easter, 4th of July. You might not want to see my son, and I ain't got no problem with that. But I want to see my grandbaby.
I want to see her too, but I ain't.
Yeah. So let me. I as I'm sitting here, and I promise you, I ain't just saying this because we on a podcast. I mean, this is honest to truth. I have said this too. So now, my son has one child, and I said it to both of his baby mamas, because one child, transitioned. And I remember saying this. And then I said it to the other baby mama, so Harper's mom. He's two kids. The first one transitioned, okay? And then Jacob. And then it's Harper. And then now my daughter is pregnant. Okay, I just had a conversation with her, and I meant what I said. See, again, I'm just kind of, I don't know if it's age or I just think it might be my I don't really have time. Like, I ain't finna play with none of y'all. Like, I wouldn't care if it was my daughter, and I'll stand on this. And I pray it don't have to happen because a lot of times when you judge hard, you judge unfair, and in the same measures you judge other people, we're going to really see what you're going to do because I'm going to put you in that situation. So I pray I don't have to get in the situation because I have 3 daughters. I pray they don't play with me with their babies because I'm telling you, I don't have the energy to fight. And so if it was my son, one of his children, if it was my girls, one of if they ever played with me with them children, I'm gonna be honest with you, I ain't finna fight.
But that's good. But that is not what we were talking
about.
I
know, but you ain't hey, come on,
okay,
pipe it down, pipe it down. So pipe it down. It's in the same arena. What I'm saying is this: at the end of the day, because again, we're talking about if it's your girl's child or if it's your son's child, how you gonna handle? You gonna handle it different because it's the girl, it's the boy. I'm saying if I was in Marie's situation and it wouldn't matter if it was my girl or my boy, I'm telling you, I ain't finna go with it. I have made it very clear to Hopper's mom, if you play with me one time with this girl, I don't care what y'all got going on. I'm telling you now, I ain't finna fight for no baby. I'm not gonna do that. I told my daughter the other day at the table, I said, I'm gonna tell you this. I ain't finna go through this. Yeah. Y'all ain't finna stress me out to play with me. The first time I get the will of somebody playing with me with a baby, I'm not dealing with it. So it's in the same arena. Whether it's my boy, whether it's my daughter, I'm not about to deal with it. But at the end of the day, if I get the opportunity, I'm gonna be fair. CJ is my grandbaby. My daughter OC, my oldest daughter, which is my adoptive daughter, she just got married, and her husband, he has boys, right? And so so anyway, CJ lives with them. She called me up. She was talking to me about a situation with him with clothes. It was saying he growing too big, and somebody made a gesture about talking about he being in the flood and talk. Man, you talking about I got as my wits. I got up that day. I said, oh, we ain't got to never worry about no clothes. Right. I went and I got him everything. And I said, she said, I got some inspos and stuff I want for him. I said, send it to me. And I went and got him shoes. I went and got him clothes. Now, this is a grandbaby I just got. Yeah. Just a couple of months ago. And so my thing is, at the end of the day, it will be the same. It's the same thing with Harper. If Harper needs something, I'm getting up, I'm going to get it. Now, I can't tell you I'm going to move like that for OC and her husband. I ain't going to tell you that. But when I found out my grandbaby needed some clothes and he got pants up his leg and people talking about him, and I said, we ain't got to never worry about nothing for him. Anything he need, I'm going to get it. So that's definitely the difference when she say, I don't move for my children like that. But I move for my grandkids like that. I do. They innocent bystanders. Them children, they can get it. That's how I am. But them innocent, these innocent bystanders right here, Hopper and CJ, they in. And this going to be the same thing with Roe Baby. You know, that's getting ready to have a baby. So what I'm saying is, if it was me, if my girl played with me, I'm going to be honest with you.
So why do you think, because this is real big and we got to get ready to wrap this up, why do you think that it is some mothers, because that's what I really want to get on, it is some people that have double standards for their girl children versus their boy children. And I remember one time we had this conversation and you said this and it was so good to me. You said it's a heart issue. Mm-hmm. It boils down to when you could discriminate against one grandchild for another grandchild. It's a flat out heart issue. You know what I'm saying?
But I'm gonna say this. Can I say this? I believe it's a heart issue, but I'm telling you this: if you say you dealt with it, I say I dealt with it. I bet you if we had 10 people in this room, the only reason why she didn't deal with it because her grandmother was gone. If we had 10 people in this room, I guarantee you, out of the 10, you're going to have more say yeah, I did see favor. So I think it's a spirit.
Oh,
I
I was about to
think
say
that spirit, it runs rapid, and you and your family, you got to make the decision. It stops with me. I'm not finna do this. I'm not.
And I
And,
feel like
can I
that's
say
true.
this? Can
That's
I say
good.
this? One of the things I believe you said, I believe I do what I do because of empathy, because I saw how people. I don't really. Let me tell you something. This is kind of off of it, but I think this will help somebody. I never understood why I was fair so much with my stepkids and my adoptive kids. If I think about it, I ain't finna cry because it just, but when I didn't know why, Tanya. I didn't know, Marie. I didn't know, why do I be fair like that with all my kids? Why is that everybody around is fair? But let me tell you why. One day, Holy Spirit showed me why. I had a stepmama, and my stepmama was fair with me and my stepsister. Everything my stepmama did for her, she did it for me. When back then they was charging you $18 per track. Do you remember when you used to get weird? She said, okay, I got to get enough because one can't get their hair done. Yeah, you want tracks, sister. You want tracks. I want tracks. Well, we got to wait a minute. Wait, because I want to get both of y'all hair done. When she got her license, we were in the same age. We were in the same grade. She said, okay, I'm going to let you go drive. I'm going to do it. We get outfits alike. You want this? She'll call me up. You want this? Okay, my stepmama never showed a difference between me and my stepsister. I never felt that effect. And so it was my stepmama that put that in me.
That's good.
My stepmama never made me feel the difference. We shared a bed. Y'all sleeping together. I never forget, y'all. We went to my stepmama's mama house in Montgomery, Alabama. And I knew them people because they didn't like my daddy, because my daddy wasn't so good of a man.
Yeah, that's what we
And so bottom line is, we were in Montgomery, you all, and I was on my cycle, and I knew I didn't want to mess up their bed because I knew they would dog me out. And I'll never forget, I was trying to put on so many pants, and my stepmom said, why are you putting on all them pants to go to sleep? And I told her, I said, I don't want to mess up the bed or whatever. And I just went inside. I said, I don't want to get in trouble. She said, you ain't going to get in trouble. And they thought I was asleep, y'all. And I'll never forget, my stepmama checked her mama about me. She said, if I catch you mistreating Cicely, I'll never, not Cicely ain't ever coming back. I ain't never coming back down this road because you ain't going to mistreat our daughter. You ain't gonna mistreat our dog. That lady said that. I had respect for my stepmom. They thought I was asleep. So what was birthed in me to be fair with my stepkids, with my adopted kids, with my kids is, it was birthed, I believe I'm a fair person, but it was birthed from my stepmama. My stepmama helped me to see that it can be done. So with my son's children, my daughter's children, I'm going to be good to all of them. You understand what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, if the end don't play with me, I'm just telling you I'm not.
I have two daughters, and we'll bring this to close, and I have grandchildren with one. And I try to be fair with sharing visitation. And let me tell you about what I mean. Like every Easter, I require the children to come to my house to take pictures. But that means if I get them that morning, I understand it's fair if you want to go to your husband's parents' house. If we got to do Christmas here this year and then Christmas there, I'm fair if they fair. I'm going to say this again. I'm fair if you're fair. But what I'm not going to do is share and you're not fair. Because I do have the mindset that whatever anybody give my grandkids is extra. I'm going to do what I'm supposed to do for my grandkids. And I know that we don't have any responsibility or obligations. But if I want to throw a birthday party, because I don't like the way my kids throw birthday parties, I'm going to throw a birthday party. And I'm going to invite my guests. I'm going to invite y'all. But I can say that spirit is reverence.
Yeah.
And that spirit is taking over.
Yeah. It has taken over, from generation to generation.
Let me say this to you before we go. It is disappointing to see people that love God show discrimination among their grandkids.
Yeah.
And they end up sowing seeds in those grandkids.
Yeah.
That actually messes them up.
Yeah.
And so that's very, very hard. I'm not like that with my grandkids. I pray I'm not like that with my son, because I'm a fair person. I'm not even like that with my son-in-law. Most of the time,
Oh, yeah.
the spirit is not just kids.
Oh, yeah.
Notice
Show right.
that show
You show right.
favoritism between
Even
grandkids, they got a problem with favoritism, period.
show do.
They don't just start with
Show do.
grandchildren. They start with
Show
daughters
do.
and daughter-in-laws and sisters
Show
and
do.
sister-in-law. That's a spirit.
Yeah.
I am fair with my son-in-law, with my son.
Me too.
And
Me too,
so
Seals.
my son-in-law will probably tell you that Miss Seals is one of the fairest people. He always say, I think he's saying that she's straight up and cutthroat, but she bold as a lion, but she go. That's because I'm fair.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm fair
You
with
ain't
my
cutthroat.
son.
Don't say that.
Yeah.
I'm fair with my son-in-law. So I just want to encourage people that have children. You guys got to start being fair. If you're going to buy one Porsche for Christmas, if you cannot afford another Porsche, you shouldn't be buying any. If you're going to help one kid when they turn 16 with a car,
That's it.
You should be prepared to help the other child.
I agree.
It should never be
I agree.
that your daughter children are able to clap and to make it seem like grandmama is a guru.
Yeah.
And grandson or your son children don't even know the person that they describing.
Yeah.
They like, grandma is the GOAT. Grandmama do all this. And then the grandson is like, what? What you mean she the
Yeah,
GOAT?
that's
What
right.
do you mean she come through? What do you mean she do? And I think that spirit is happening even more among our African American community.
Yeah.
So I think we all need to start doing evaluation.
Yeah, self-evaluation.
And see how we
Absolutely.
are with that.
Yeah, I wanted to say this. We have to remember this. These two things. Number one, the day will come when we all will get old.
Yeah, absolutely.
We will all get old to the point where we may need some assistance or some help
Absolutely.
With them
Absolutely.
same grandchildren.
with them same grandchildren.
You're right.
Who gonna look at you and be like, I'm not coming your way. But I want to say this. Number one, we talked about it being a heart issue. That showing that partiality is just not a good thing. But whatever I love what you said. If you try to hold your child back or use your child as a pawn, because that's what you're doing.
Yeah.
You're using your child to control the narrative that you want to see.
Yeah.
That is witchcraft.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah.
Anytime you use something or a person to control the
Absolutely.
narrative, it is a spirit
And I ain't
of
gonna let you
witchcraft.
control me
It's
like
witchcraft.
that.
You're right. You're right. Well, listen, we got something cute for you.
Okay.
I got a shirt for
Oh.
you. We want to say thank you for being on Bestie for Birmingham.
Hello.
And let me show you this. You are absolutely right. First of all, I can
Thank
honestly
y'all.
attest, I know how active you have been in your grandchildren.
Absolutely.
I mean, from taking temporary custody of them to running up and down the road. I mean, like literally, you are definitely not one of those absent
Absolutely.
grandmothers and just furloughing the responsibility. But like, that was my son's kids. I'm not dealing with that. I've watched you, from taking her in to putting her in stuff. I can remember even when one of the latest iPhones came out, how you had got the iPhone and all this stuff. You have definitely, to be honest, are an example. Both of you guys are. You are both examples on what a grandmother should look like when the grandchildren came from your father, your son.
Yeah.
I know grandparents are doing paternity tests now behind bags. That's a big thing. In order for you to do anything for the child, you're doing, it used to be a time when you had to go somewhere real big to do a paternity test.
Yeah.
You don't now. You just go to
Or a kid
Walgreens.
from Amazon.
And
Yeah.
it's just really devastating. So I want to commend both of you guys. But this was something.
Thank you.
When we
Is
ordered
that
your
why you
shirt-
text me?
Oh my God! Look at this. It
Oh.
has all your grandkids'
Oh
name.
my
All
word!
your grandkids' name.
And you-
All right, so you had to have 2 sleeves.
You had to have two sleeves.
Is that
Ain't that
not
so
the
blessed?
cutest?
Then when I walked in, I said, "What?" I asked about.
You
my
sure
shirt.
did. I kept saying, girl, you got to get you one. Wow.
Jada,
Yes.
Valerie, Abigail. Oh my God!
And
So
keep Abigail in prayer, because that's the one I believe in God. I'll be able to build a relationship.
but the mere fact that you even
Yeah.
acknowledged her,
Yeah.
the mere fact that you counted
I pray
her,
for her daily.
amen. So
Yeah.
we're so excited about that.
Wow.
Well, thank you
So
guys
sweet.
Yes.
so much. We ask that you like, share, and comment and
Yes.
subscribe
Yes.
to Besties
Yes.
of Birmingham. Do a reality check, what did you call
Heart
it?
check,
Heart
self-evaluation.
self-evaluation.
Absolutely.
Check and see how you treat your daughter kids versus your son kids, and if you need to make the evaluation, if you need to make the shift,
Change.
change, and whatever you need to do,
Yeah.
because one day they might grow up and they might do like I did, just kept a preaching assignment. Let me go help the souls. I mean, shoot, you didn't act like I was none when I was alive. And guess what? This is the truth. People could literally forgive you, move on, and never deal with you.
Absolutely.
So I'm
Absolutely.
not gonna let anybody make me feel bad because I didn't go to a service. People could forgive you, not hold hostage in any means necessary. But I got stuff
That's
to do.
it. That's
you know
it.
what I'm saying? Like you said, you're gonna get old and you'll never know who you're gonna
Yeah.
meet. But that's pretty much it. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you
y'all.
so much for
God
joining us
bless
this day.
you.
Bye-bye.